I do model.
How long have you been?
I've been modeling for a while now. Let's not go there. But I do it because I just love to create art, and I love to get all glam and pretty and feel fabulous, you know.
Barbie?
Does he call me the queen?
The queen.
Yes, he does. I think that's because I'm the OG and I've been here for a very long time. And this is my 7th or 8th year here. I like what I like. I try not to be too high maintenance, but you know. I try not to, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
I've been here so long that like should have a little seniority.
My name is Dr. Stacy Naito.
This one is like our gold. It's see-through and it has slits on the side. You want to do that?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And with the black corset.
Okay.
Probably, depending on the top, either a black over the bust.
And you can even put shoulder pieces.
And I can, tell us what you do.
I am a board certified physician and I'm also a fitness professional, brand ambassador, sponsored athlete, and writer.
My name's Christy Elizabeth. I'm a Canadian police officer. I'm also a fitness professional. I coach posing. We have a team of athletes called Team Star and a sponsored athlete.
I'm Vilma Bellini and I'm Chuck's boss.
The most important role. This morning, this young lady came to me. No.
Dude.
This morning, this young lady came to me and she said something very profound. Please repeat that for me, please.
Okay, well, all the events that we have done in the past, the women that come around, these wannabe models, little girls, you know, calling themselves models, there's so much hatred. They're so catty. They're hateful towards each other. You're putting me on the spot. I'm like flushing. I usually start hating on them. I don't like them. I put a guard up. I'm like, don't even come to me with that attitude. And I went up to Chuck today. I said, this is so different. This is the first time since we've been together. We did an event where women are so pleasant. You guys are so awesome. You are so kind to each other, so helpful. It's very sweet to see. So when I was telling him that, I like broke out in tears. Yeah.
You have such a beautiful soul.
We're all gonna end up crying.
Such wonderful, genuine people, and it really shows. You ooze, genuine love and acceptance, and you're real people, which it's very hard to come by, and so you truly are gems. Wow, well, where do I begin? So I've seen a lot in the modeling industry, and I've also seen a lot in the fitness industry. There's this constant pressure to be perfect, to look perfect, to be perfect, to be sort of like that, that living doll. And and it's pervasive, and it's oppressive as well. Like you just always have that pressure to be that perfect woman. So sometimes that will translate into poor self-esteem. Well, usually it'll translate into poor self-esteem. Looking at others, going, well, I'm not measuring up to my my peers, and so I need to do whatever I can to get to that level that I need to be at. And so that can translate into some very erratic and very damaging behaviors. It could be issues with food, issues with and I went through that when I was 19. I was anorexic. I got down 85 pounds. But other people will turn to medications, street drugs, alcohol, just to cope, just to get through that whole vicious cycle of, well, I got to be perfect.
Do you feel comfortable telling the world your age?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be 52 in 9 days. No, 10 days. I got one more day, so 10 days. Yeah.
people are gonna call me a liar that I paid you to say that because nobody's gonna believe
No.
it.
You know what? It's all over my social media. I'm actually really proud of it. And, you know, I've had people tell me, you shouldn't say your age because I'm also, you know, I also act on the side. And, you know, I've been modeling my whole life, like since I was a baby. But, you know, people say, you know, you're kind of cutting yourself off at the knees because you're stating your age. Why should I be embarrassed?
Exactly.
I'm proud, you know, and also I live to tell the tale. Like I've gone through stuff. Like I said, you know, I was anorexic, and on my 20th birthday, someone came up to me. It was a celebrity trainer friend of mine, and he said, "At 20, you've got the body of a 40-year-old." And I remember thinking, when I'm 40, just watch me. I'm going to reverse that, and I did. And I competed in bodybuilding as a bikini competitor in the MPC, and then later IFBB. I went pro. I did that from 43 to 47.
So let me get this
So-
straight. So somebody told you that you couldn't do it,
Right.
or that you were not at a level that he thought you should be, and you made a liar out of him or her.
What him? Yeah. So something snapped in my brain because I was going through the anorexia. I was going through this vicious cycle, this addiction, and I had this horrible body dysmorphia because I was looking at my body going, "Oh, I'm not perfect. I'm not where I need to be," which was so stupid. And then I snapped, and I said, "I'm going to heal myself." I went and I got therapy. I declared a major in exercise science. I got a bachelor's degree in exercise science. I later went on to medical school. I completed medical school and residency. I established a career as a physician. And then at the age of 43, I decided, you know what, I want to put something else in there. I want to compete. And actually there was something also another thing that was very compelling about competing. I love being a doctor. It was something I really wanted to do when I was a kid, but then my mom did this pressure thing. Oh, this is my daughter, you know, she's my only child. And so I did it for myself, but I also did it for her. I also did other things, you know, for her or for society. For when I was married, I did it for my husband. Competing, I did for myself. And that was wonderful. But also that being said, you know, being in that whole circuit, as wonderful as it was, I saw so many people with these disorders, this dysmorphia, because they had to be perfect on stage. I had to be perfect on stage. I saw people taking meds. I saw people, you know, just hating on themselves. And, you know, there's this misconception that people who step on stage are really, really healthy. Some of the most unhealthy people, physically and mentally, are competing, which is just, it's ironic. It's just bizarre.
Not so much about the opioid. I can't say it. Opioid.
Because you can't even say it because you guys don't even have the issue
No,
there.
so we don't have that issue, but I mean just the prevalent issues in the fitness industry and in the modeling and that it's.
So you don't have a pain medicine overusage or an epidemic there at all?
Not so much. I mean, we have drugs going on, but not. It doesn't seem as bad here.
Wow.
Not like the doctors are giving it to everyone that
no.
comes to see them.
Right. Well,
No.
but there are regulations in place, thank goodness. I mean, and for, you know, my perspective as a physician, I mean, you know, I actually have basically, you know, backup where, you know, if a patient comes in, because I do a lot of sports medicine. So I do some pain management. So I'll have patients come in and they'll say, "Hey doc, you know, you gave me that Norco, you know, I know it's only been 20 days, but I knocked through, you know, all 30 that you gave me." Well, you know what, you're gonna have to tough it out. I'm not gonna let you.
Risking your life,
Y-
yeah.
Yeah, I can't give you more. You're obviously in that vicious cycle. You need to break that cycle. And so, and you know, because of the regulations that are now in place, I can actually say, I'm actually not allowed to do that. Thank goodness, you know. So at least the government is paying some attention. I don't know if they're doing it perfectly, and I am going on camera and saying that, but you know, at least there are measures that are in place.
A lot of doctors are not so morally correct as you are. A lot of doctors, when you run out of your prescription and you go and you whine and cry to them, they will give in.
Yeah, I won't do it. Yeah, because okay, I took the Hippocratic Oath, which is first do no harm. So if I have a patient coming to me saying, I just need more, I need more Norco, I need more
Yeah.
OxyContin, well, you know what? No, you're basically on this path where you're slowly killing yourself.
Right.
And let's look at the psychological basis behind that need for medication. So there's a whole other thing with pain. Pain is very often spiritually based.
Let me get out of here.
Yeah, let's look at really what's going on. I mean, there's usually a psychological basis, so psychosomatic, it is so strong. It's not just pain. I mean, yeah, okay, you fall and you sprain your ankle. Okay, I get that. But if you're having chronic pain, chronic issues, what's really going on?
That is very true, because
So-
my pain was a lot worse when I was on pain meds. When I got off it, the pain is not as bad. I mean, I can handle it. It was way worse, especially when you start going through withdrawals, when you run out.
Yeah.
Everything hurts like 10 times more.
So may I ask what got you started in that whole...
Yeah, I had a very abusive husband, He
gosh, okay.
kicked me almost every day. I had
Oh,
my
no.
bones broken, my jaw dislocated, my nose broken, my back issue started then. And then I had 2 failed back surgeries.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
it was-
that's where it started.
I'm just new into the modeling, so I was doing the competitor thing, and then started branching out into fitness shoots, and now I've kind of trying to swing into the model. So back home, it seems that there's a lot of cattiness, and everyone has high expectations to be paid, and they're not paying the photographers, and it just seems like a very odd world. And
That's weird. So can you repeat that?
yeah, so the models expect everything for free or to be paid, and they just want to do trade for print, or they're being paid and don't expect to pay the photographer. It's
Can you repeat that one more time?
mind-blowing. Photographers do not get paid, especially in Ontario and Toronto.
You know what? I'm going to
that's
focus on
crazy.
you a lot today. When we're out there shooting, I'm going to give you, you just bought me.
I don't understand it. And even for a photo shoot, to expect that for free, and that can be a few hours, but the editing that goes
Yeah,
into
the
these
editing,
after the fact,
Uh-huh.
and everyone expects everything for free. No, I'm the model. I'm the one bringing you this look and that. You're just there taking pictures of me. When who's doing the work, really?
Yeah, you're lucky to be shooting me. That's their thought process.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna leave this about you guys. I can really dive
Oh, I
into
know,
that.
I know that.
So, can you explain to me the feeling that you get when you're out there in front of the camera, that image is snapped, and you look at that image? Tell me what goes on in your head.
Well, the prime example coming back today was the image that I got from you. I literally opened my phone and I go, wow. And I'm trying not to tear up whenever I see it. The
We're
beauty.
gonna need more napkins.
I can't believe it's me, when I used to just be this skinny girl, and now I'm like, wow, I'm a woman. I feel empowered now, seeing the way I've been able to change my body, and just standing there as a powerful human being instead of this little skinny girl that I was. But just the artistic nature of it, just being out in the salt flats. But it was beautiful seeing the picture, and it makes me happy that I've been able to change myself, not just physically but mentally as well, and that I'm able to connect through social media, Instagram, Facebook, with other people, and they see that, and although they may be acquaintances and friends on Instagram, you all start feeding off of each other. And it's like a whole women empowerment. Well, if that person can do it, I can do it. So what can I do? What can I learn off them to help me blossom and become the strong female that I want to be? I just, being in a male-dominated profession, I just felt a lot of times I've been pushed out of the way. and I'm not given the credit that I should be as a police officer, and that I should have the strength, be able to protect the community. So I felt I was pushed out of the way a lot by the males, and that's why I kind of got into the sense of doing the fitness. I wanted to be that they would depend on me at that call and not push me out of the way and say, no, you're just the female, you don't have the strength to be within this call. So I think that's more why I started going down the sense of the fitness. And then I started getting into the modeling because, like I said, I was just always the skinny, like frail girl that walked with like the hunch, right? I wasn't very confident. So I wanted to show females and myself that I can do this. I can be that strong woman, right? Show them that it's about independence. It's about self-respect. Doesn't matter what you look like. Us, we have, right now I'm quite lean because I just had a competition, but there's an off-season body as well, and you need to embrace your body in all different aspects, whether you are a little bit heavier, curvier, you're slender, more muscle, whatever it may be. You need to own that.
Okay. It's interesting because, as I said, I had modeled pretty much my whole life. I kind of took my 30s to go to med school and residency, and then I came back to modeling in my 40s, and now, you know, at almost 52, still doing it. I have a unique set of pressures from society because they said, well, you're a physician and you're over 50. You have no business modeling. You have no business showing that you're all the hard efforts of your work. That, okay, you train 6 days a week. Okay, that's great, but you know, keep it covered up. Wear your white coat, and you know, stay on the straight and narrow because that's what you're supposed to do. And I think that's a load of hogwash. You know, I don't like having that kind of forced upon me. That, oh, as a doctor, you've got to fit inside this little box. That makes me want to go outside the box. And that makes me also want to send a message to other women that you can always go outside the box. You know, don't fall under those constraints that, you know, all those societal pressures, because you're always going to get some kind of naysayer who's going to come up to you, some kind of hater who's going to say, you shouldn't do that. You have no business doing that. Nonsense. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want, you know? Just get out there and be proud of who you are and express it.
I think what Chuck was asking you, maybe that will help, is, I'll give you an example. You know, when I post some images of some women, like images from Miss Event, for example, there were men who go and say, oh, I love that ass, or that looks so hot. And I'm like, have you been raised by wolves? You know, like, you don't talk like that.
Yeah.
These are women, you know, and I get emotional just thinking about it. So I guess that's where he was going. Do you get approached like that?
On the pictures, yes. And it's interesting because you get some that will post, and I know I've had issues at work before that people say, you're a police officer, you are a professional enforcing the law, and here you are out sexy, half-dressed in a bikini. Well, yes, but I'm human as well. Am I not able to go to the beach?
Right, yeah.
I would be wearing a bikini then, and even the lingerie shoots, that actually is more clothing half the time than me on stage in my bikini. In my 30% or 20% cut at the rear, which is similar to a thong. So I guess it's just they see the whole sense around what lingerie and sex and the sex appeal. So at work, I do have a bit of issues in that sense, and I did have an issue with one boss that did not agree with what I'm wearing, and the heels are clear. They're stripper heels in a sense.
Right. Sure.
And just felt, how are you a police officer in one sense, but you're representing a stripper in another sense? And I said, no, I'm a human being. I should be able to do what I want outside of work. I'm not wearing the uniform. I'm not saying what service I work for. I'm proud that I'm a police officer and will say that. But I'm a person, I enjoy sports. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy doing some photo shoots. I enjoy being sexy at times, right? But then you do get some of the males that write on the picture, oh, it's so sexy, oh, I want to
Yeah.
slap that ass. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I ask-
and they
Very-
don't see,
very
they just
crass,
see the sex
very-
appeal rather than seeing the art form and,
Yeah.
and the body and the work that's being put into it.
Yeah.
The artistic nature, the lighting and everything that the photographer's trying to encompass,
Yeah, they're not
right?
paying attention to any of
No.
that. They just go, oh wow, hot chick. Oh wow.
No.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one more thing. So now that you started doing modeling and do these shoots, the guys that you work with, you know, the police that you work with, do they approach you differently? Do they think that they can go and talk to you as if you're, you know, instead of you being a cop, like you're this sexy model, and they talk to you like that?
Yep.
Has it changed?
Most don't. Most are still very, very good, but you will get the odd few older, more military and regimented that they do have a difficult time coming and approaching me. They can't see me as a person now. They get in their head that I'm just this sex object, and that's not what I'm trying to portray at all.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to lead two separate lives. I mean, that's kind of
Yes.
something I've noticed that, like, I don't really let my patients know that, like, I do all this other stuff. But then, you know, as a model and as a fitness professional, like, with my social media, I'll post a picture and people know that I'm a physician, but it's the other side, you know.
Right.
It's, so I'm like my doctor by day, fitness superhero by night thing. And they see the fitness superhero by night, and they go, "Wow, oh doc, you know, I think I need more, my heart medication refilled because you're so hot." And it's like, that's so inappropriate. That's so not right. Like, really?
But I even get the questions of, how are you still a police officer when people see me doing these photo shoots and events? But they forget I don't work 24/7. When I work 7 days in a row, 10-hour shifts. But then I'll have my few days off, and that's where you learn to schedule, and you have your life.
Well,
you
yeah.
have your off days. You can go out and visit family and friends. But then I may book a photo shoot or something in there. Or here's my example, I'm away for a few days. But as soon as I go back, I fly back tomorrow, and I'm right back to work on Sunday.
With the Me Too movement, I would be like, in your position, I would say, so are you saying that I cannot enjoy myself as a woman?
Right.
This is what I want to do for myself. Are you telling me this is wrong?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're human. You're human. You're a woman.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have balance in your life. You can't just throw everything into one pot. So yeah, if you want to be empowered and express yourself in all these different ways, you're absolutely allowed.
I'm going to allow you guys a chance to rummage through my corsets. We're going to take them and create a couple of different looks, and we're going to go out to the salt flats of Utah. There's no other place on planet Earth or in this universe that I know of that looks like this. And we're going to create something that you will remember, because the definition of photography is, you know, capturing the forever elusive emotion. We're going to try to capture emotion out here that you can go back and look at and tell a story that you guys met, you know, on this photo shoot to your grandchildren, pass it on. I want something you can hang over your mantle.
I remember the interview I watched with you doing with John Ferrer, the photographer from Britain, right? He said, when you look at the magazine, you're flipping through the pages, how many pictures can you remember after closing that magazine? That's how important it is to create an image that's very memorable, that people, you know, people take a look and they stop. You stop them in their tracks.
Great.
I'm like thinking about my answer, I'm already crying. I would say, don't prejudge other women. Like me coming to this event, I did the same thing as Chet. You know, we normally don't do these events, you know, nude or artistic kind of ways like what you guys do here. And I was like, well, these women are gonna be bitches, you know. Couldn't be further from the truth. And you guys really surprised me. And
It's so great to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
Just your story is awesome. I'm glad you're sharing it with everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What advice would you give to other women? They might not be able to see you, but they will hear you. What would you say?
I've studied the psyche of women for a long time. And I would say that you should really get to know who you are. Really understand what makes you tick. Fall in love with yourself. Because if you cannot love yourself, how do you know it fits into your world?
Exactly. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you
Love
too.
you
Happy
too.
shooting.
Yes.
Good.